Hi everybody, Martin at Flicking Feathers again today. I'm back with another book of the month. It's a good one this month. It's Rod Hamilton's Do It Yourself Bonefishing. Right. Now, I'll put an Amazon link in the description. If you do decide to buy the book, I'd love it if you use that. It won't cost you any extra, but it will help me out a bit. So this is a really useful book for anybody who fishes saltwater flats, and I think it's useful if you fish DIY or not, right? Even if you're fishing with a guide, this has got some interesting stuff in it that's useful and will help you. Also, if you fly fish for carp or any other sort of walking sight fishing, there's probably some stuff in here to think about, although some of the information is obviously less applicable. So as I say, it's a very good book, and it's basically split into two sections. The first part is like the why and how of DIY flats fishing. Now, I DIY flats fish a lot, and I don't necessarily do things exactly the same as in this book, but there are a lot of things in here that are quite similar. I mean, I'm quite a bit younger than Rod, so probably I carry more gear, for example, right? But the first chapter is basically about why to DIY fish, what's the attraction of it, what to expect, right? A lot of people have quite unrealistic expectations when they go DIY on the flats. I mean, I had a friend I took fishing once a couple of years ago, but just before the pandemic, and he'd seen photos from me of like catching trevally. No, I'd be going out catching what 1, 2, 3 fish a day, maybe 4 on a good day, and he was expecting that to happen. And he had one fish for the week, and he was quite disappointed. But you know, after explaining it, like, he kind of starts to get the picture. So manage your expectations is probably one of the main first things that you get in this book. Then it goes on to talk about gear, how to spot fish, tides, how to tie your leaders up, how to make your leaders. People have different ideas, but what to carry, I've already sort of touched on that. And I think most importantly, walking. Like, this is the only book I'm aware of that talks about how to walk, right, in any detail. Speed, how to move in different depths of water but remain quiet, right? And that, alright, casting is important, fly choice might be important, leader construction is important, but how you walk when you're DIY fishing is absolutely paramount, I think. It's all related to how far you can see a fish, you know, and if you're walking too quick you don't see them. It's that simple. Well, it's not that simple, but that's a very broad strokes. And that's in there, and that's the chapter I always go back and I read that before every trip. Right. Even though I know it, I read it just to sort of refresh it in my mind. It sort of makes me pay attention a bit more on that first day when I'm sort of tuning myself in. And then the second part is where to DIY. Lists different destinations. It's a bit Caribbean centric, but fine. I mean, sort of most of the main bone fishing locations, I suppose, are in the Caribbean. But I mean, they're all across the Pacific, from Indonesia and Singapore, the Maldives. You know, the information in the book is applicable everywhere that there are bonefish. But talks about the Bahamas, southern Yucatan, Cayman Islands, Turks and Caicos, and then the US, Florida and Hawaii. Hawaii's the only Pacific region mentioned in here. but each location's broken down, some suggestions of where you might stay. Is it, you know, they've got ratings for like taking family, other activities. It's good. I mean, obviously some of the information will be getting a bit dated, but a lot of it's still valid, and it's good. And a few years ago I went to Ishkalak in the Yucatan, and that's mentioned in this book, and I took the book with me. I went and fished a few of the locations, caught some fish. It was great. It just meant I didn't have to go and drive down 4 roads instead of 1 to find the access. I mean, I was fishing with a guide most of the days, and then I would go out in the evening, walking the beach, or on the other days when I wasn't out, like sightseeing. If there was an unguided day that I had free, I would go to a spot and walk for a few hours, depending on the tides. And again, picking up fish, not just bonefish, barracuda and other species. This will open up the flats for anything that's there, not only bones. So, as I say, great book, really good. I've actually just ordered his other book, Fly Fishing the Yucatan. I'm looking forward to that arriving. But well worth a read. I hope you buy it, and I hope you get something out of it. So, as always, guys, I hope that was useful. Thanks very much for watching, and tight lines, guys. We'll see you later. Bye.